Hi everyone, how are you? This is going to be a good video. I'm going to talk about something super necessary. A-B testing. If you don't know what it is, you've got to see this video. What A-B testing is whenever you do anything that's client facing in your business, like make a web page, send an email, create any feature of your product and your whole product. What you think is going to work, what you think is going to please your customer is a little bit of a guess from you, right? Or from the product designer. And you know, it's fine, but is it always perfect? And it's almost never perfect, that guess, right? It can always be improved. And so what A-B testing does is, just like the name A-B, there's two things. And in reality, there can be more than two things. So instead of putting out a new page design, you put out 2 page designs, or 3 or 4 or 5. And then you give it to a sample of your users, and you see what they do. You monitor what they do, and you kind of analyze what they do. And whichever design sort of looks like it causes the behavior in your users that you want, that's the winning design, right? And so what that gives you a chance to do it is not guess, but actually tell from your real customers, gather real data of what's going to happen, and then be able to choose on that. So that it takes the guessing out, as long as you do things in a statistically significant way, right? So it's not just you're giving it to 2 people, you're giving it to like 100 or 200 people, and then you can the statistics are truer, they're truer, right? So you can observe them and then make the decision long term, like which pages should I have. And that's a process that it can be in anything that's client facing. If it's important for you, take the time to do it. Now, because it can be anything. It can be part of a physical product, it can be part of a website, it can be even an email, you know, subject. There are many different kinds of tools for each of those paradigms. There's a lot of web tools, a lot of free ones to do A-B testing. On email, there's like MailChimp has a tool to do kind of like A-B testing with your titles, right? They help you determine if you give them different potential titles that you're thinking about in your email, the subject lines, they can actually tell you, like they can send it to a small sample of your users, and then they'll tell you what subject is getting the highest open rate for your email, and then you can just send the rest of the emails with that subject. Right, so I mean, it's amazing, and of course, if your business depends on people opening and reading this email and doing whatever you want them to do afterwards, then having a higher open rate is extremely helpful. It probably will result in a higher number of people doing what you want them to do. And so that's kind of the standard way, right? These software tools. Now, I want to share with you guys like something that I do, which is kind of cool, which a lot of people do, but it's not necessarily as known, okay? So let me tell you how I did things on my app, okay? So when you're not a big company, or when you're starting, or you're testing out a product, doing A-B testing on everything is hard because you don't have that many clients to send things to, and you just don't have the time to A-B test everything. Although, even knowing that it's a good practice to do it, you still don't have the time to A-B test everything. Okay? It's time consuming and it's only a part of everything else. So what I did is, if you guys have ever used my apps, or if you've seen my apps, or you should check out the apps, there's a lot of buttons on them. Like in the business planning app, for example, there's a button to plan a business, there's a button to learn to plan, there's a button to start, everything. And what I did at first is I constantly, every time I updated the app, I used to switch the order of the buttons. And I would literally observe, you know, for that week, what people did on the live product. It wasn't testing before I released it, it was on the live product. And I was able to get away with it because it was just such a new app and I didn't have a lot of users. So I made my users actually the testers. They didn't know it, but I had no choice because I didn't have anyone to really A-B test. I didn't have hundreds of people to A-B test that thing for me. So I gave it to these real users, And then I saw what they were doing. You know, I monitored what buttons people were clicking on, and whether they were getting things accomplished on the app, and you know, frankly, which order of the apps, and resulted in higher reviews in the App Store. Because if I get higher reviews in the App Store, then I get a sense that general user experience is better. And that's what I was doing. And then when I started having too many users, it became more dangerous to keep switching the apps or the buttons order all the time. I would piss off my users, right? So what I did then is, if I had an idea for a new feature, I wouldn't put it on the home screen, but I would put it on some other page of the app. So maybe if the home screen is getting like 500 people a day, then some page of the app may be getting like 20 people a day. And that's a safe test right there. So I would put that feature on that small page. And if I saw that feature on a small page, which is getting like only 20 people a day, so it's not like a huge deal, then if I saw that feature was performing well, then I would kind of make that feature more prominent in the app. And so I would actually, I still do this, I kind of play around with which features should be more prominent and where they're linked to in the app, depending on what benefit people are getting from them, right? And if something, you know, so it's kind of how I did it. And I ended up doing like over 100 iterations on my original app with this over time. Sometimes I like literally released like on Android they allowed you to release like any time. So I released my app as much as 3 times a day, a couple of times, which I don't recommend really, but I did it. I got away with it. You may not want to do that. It's not a great practice, but it sort of helped me in my testing and in improving the product. And you know, guess what? I'm still doing this type of A/B testing all the time. I'm always observing whether new features are kind of getting used in a way that I think, you know, it's helping people. And most importantly, I'm trying to fix the old features because they're still not perfect. There's still, you know, like sometimes I need to add design improvements, things like that, and I don't like to just, you know, it's not a good thing to just guess, like, is this design helping or not? Is it improving things or not? I actually like to see what was happening in the past and what the changes were, you know, what the behavior differences are in my users. And if the behavior differences is something that's showing signs that they're enjoying the app more or they're getting more help, then I stay with it. And if I'm not getting those signs, then I revert back to the original. So that's how, so in this video, so we went over what is A/B testing, why it's important, how some software tools and kind of some instances where you can do it, and some really practical ways you can do it that is cheap. And you know, I just gave an example of how I did it exactly, and that was pretty cheap, that was efficient. And it gave me really good results because really quickly I was able to give people who were using my app exactly what they needed. Okay, so and you should use A/B testing in your business, and you can use my example or something similar because that works. It really works. Yeah. Anyway, so thanks for watching, guys. I hope it was helpful, and if it was, of course, please subscribe to my channel. I give a ton of business advice on all sorts of topics, even maybe somewhat obscure ones like this one. And also, of course, please check out my mobile apps. They help you with your business ideas, business planning, marketing, and fundraising. And they're available on iOS, Android, Kindle, Nook. And I think if you are starting a business, they will be helpful to you. So check them out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.